we ain't done yet. We ain't done yet. You know what I'm saying? I need you guys to hear me out in this video, bro, because things are about to get insane. Now, obviously, yesterday's SmackDown still stands as being one of the worst episodes of all time. And quite frankly, the Rock and Cody promo segment, if this video, what I'm about to say in this video, does not end up happening, this segment is going to go down as one of the worst of all time. And currently, it is one of the worst of all time. It was garbage. It was strange. It was awkward. It was weird. And the final Diddy came out and dropped an absolute stinker on the mic. Okay, and so did Cody Rhodes, even though he didn't really say much of anything, you know, as per usual, you know, even when he's talking a lot, he's not saying anything. But the fact is, right, we are not over yet, okay? It's not over, right? I'm not throwing in the towel, even though I low-key am already, you know what I'm saying? But, I'm not going to say for sure, right, that The Rock is completely done with this Mania season after the Chamber. And there is a theory, a fantasy booking masterclass that I have written up for what I think could potentially come out of this Cody and Rock situation, right? This Chancellor Palpatine and Anakin Skywalker kind of situation, right? This Triple H, Seth Rollins authority kind of gimmick storyline going on, right? I think that that Cody Rhodes is going to turn heel because of this storyline, right? And because of The Rock giving him an offer at more power, right? And because of this, it leaves us with questions, but at the end of the day, at least this gives Mania 41 season intrigue, a bunch of questions, confusion, and chaos, right? Last year we had chaos and confusion and a bunch of intrigue, and that at least brings some viewers and some hype back to what's happening in this Mania 41 season, which it desperately needed any sort of hype at all, right? So at the end of the day, final Diddy absolutely disappointed us yesterday, but let's talk about what's next. Stay with me and hear me out, all right? I need you guys to hear me out here, okay? Now, why would The Rock offer Cody Rhodes to genuinely join him and be his brother as he grabbed his face in the most Diddy way possible, right? How would this happen? Why would this happen? You know what I'm saying? There has to at least be something, right? I hope that this current product, even though it absolutely is garbage, I would hope that The Rock and Triple H and Cody Rhodes are not dumb enough to understand the potential story that could write itself from this specific segment, right? You can turn garbage into gold very easily from this segment, and without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into how I think that they can turn this segment into something masterful going forward. Quickly, before I get into this massive, fantasy booking rant explanation, whatever you want to call it, right? I just quickly want to say with the current product, the way it's constructed and the booking from Triple H and all this other stuff, I know The Rock can override Triple H, but the current product has given me no faith in this company literally at all, right? It's in an awful state right now, and they're probably not going to do 90% of the stuff that I'm about to say. They're probably not going to do. It's probably not going to happen, and Rock is probably going to be done for this year after Elimination Chamber. But you know what? If it continues, we'll see what happens. But again, just want a disclaimer, most of this stuff is likely not going to happen, but hopefully it does. Now, obviously, The Rock announced, right, that he's going to be at the Elimination Chamber. So what I think is going to happen, number one, is that before Elimination Chamber, which takes place in Toronto, right, next week SmackDown is going to be in Toronto as well. I think that next Friday on SmackDown, right, for starting with Raw, number one, Raw, Michael Cole, I think this Raw should announce that Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman will be on SmackDown this week in Toronto. And after this happens, Roman Reigns will return on SmackDown, obviously, in the same place that the Chamber is in, and it's going to be back-to-back, Friday, Saturday night. I think Roman will show up on SmackDown, and he will come out and he will claim to be upset with the fact that Seth Rollins put him on the shelf for for like a month, right, after the double stomp. He's upset that Cody still has the belt that is rightfully his. He's upset that The Rock, right, for example, is his own blood, but is still turning on Roman Reigns in a sense because he's siding with the enemy that they just, spent all of his time fighting and feuding with over the last year or two, right? And then he says that he wants to take back what's his, but obviously due to the Rollins storyline, with the injury and the double stomp, he can't be in the Chamber. And then Heyman, right, as Roman Reigns puts the mic down and is about to walk out because he realizes he can't go in the Chamber, the Rumble's already over, he thinks he has no chance at fighting for anything for Mania. Heyman cuts one of those elite Paul Heyman, wise man promos, right? Kind of like he did before the Lesnar and Roman Mania 38 match, where he's like, I'm saying, the most diabolical, the most insane, all that stuff, performance from the tribal chief, so that they say at the end of the match, your winner, Roman Reigns. You know what I'm saying? I think Heyman will cut one of those promos saying that you are my tribal chief. The tribal chief is not going to quit and lay down because he thinks that there's no possibility or no way out of this. You will fight through and you will give us one of the most vile, most ruthless, most heinous performances as you return and rise back to the top. You know what I'm saying? As a WWE champion / tribal chief. And Roman will get reinvigorated and look hype. He'll get back on the mic and says, Paul, I ain't quitting. And he'll basically say, you know what, Rock, I'll see you tomorrow, you know what I'm saying, at the Chamber. And that basically teases that Roman will show up at the Chamber. And speaking of the Chamber, you know what I'm saying, the Chamber, I'm saying it a million times, you know, I can't stop thinking about Punk, and I can't stop thinking about the Chamber, and I can't stop thinking about the final ditty. But anyways, at the Elimination Chamber, Rock and Cody are going to have their planned segment because The Rock announced he would be at the Chamber to talk to Cody Rhodes. Inside of this segment, what I think is going to happen, right, is the fact that Rock is going to basically reiterate his points that he brought up on SmackDown because he's doing a lot of repetition of what he said. Cody will look and, you know, have a kind of a face of, you know, I'm confused, you know, I don't know what to do. But ultimately, before Cody answers the question that Rock will likely ask him again, are you in or are you out? And being, you know, basically a sidekick to the final boss. The Cody Rhodes will be about to answer. He lifts the mic up, and then you're going to hear that you know what I'm saying, Roman Reigns' theme song, and Roman Reigns will walk out, pop the ones up, massive pop will come out with the Ula Fala on, and he'll walk out to the ring, right? Roman Reigns will basically confront The Rock and confront Cody and get in both of their faces, you know, reiterate that he wants his title back, but he's also upset with The Rock for what he's done. And because of this, as he starts to get more enraged, as he starts to speak, I think he'll get up in The Rock's face. But as he gets up in The Rock's face, bro, I think Cody Rhodes will officially turn heel. I think he'll give in and defend The Rock and save The Rock from Roman potentially attacking him and fighting him. And then that will be the official moment where The Rock piles in with Cody Rhodes and maybe stares at him as he's beating up Roman and then joins in with him too and starts stomping on Roman. They beat the crap out of him right there in the middle of the ring. Cody officially turns heel. The Rock officially sides with Cody Rhodes. And there you have it. That will basically be the moment that happens at the Elimination Chamber next weekend. And then we follow this up with the following week's SmackDown, okay? You know, SmackDown, Roman will basically come out, right? And I think Roman Reigns will basically be absolutely pissed off, you know what I'm saying, as to what took place at the Chamber. And I think he goes out, right? He doesn't even put the ones up. His music hits, he comes out, bro, the pyro hits, and he just walks straight into the ring, right? And then he goes up there, he's yelling, he's upset, kind of similar to that promo that he cut before Mania 40, where he was like, acknowledge me, me, you know what I'm saying, all that stuff. Roman will come out absolutely insane, just irritated and extremely, you know, irate pretty much, right? And he'll come out there and he'll call The Rock out, but The Rock doesn't show up. But he's in a video promo on screen, right? And The Rock in this video promo live on screen is basically going to be saying something on the lines of like, you know, The Rock isn't there tonight, you know what I'm saying? But the final boss, best believe if I was there, I'd be whooping your candy A-word, you know what I'm saying? Your candy you know what, right? And The Rock would cut his signature lines, and this would piss Roman off, you know, even more. And then Roman Reigns would basically call him like either a B-word or a coward or an absolute, you know, whatever the heck he wants to call him, you know what I'm saying? And then basically Roman Reigns gets upset and walks off with Paul Heyman. And then at the end of the show, right, there is going to be a segment where Roman Reigns, as he's about to leave that episode of SmackDown and leave the building, bro, you just see The Rock out of nowhere come into frame and beat the heck out of Roman Reigns, bro, as Paul Heyman watches in horror and The Rock's cursing at Paul Heyman, telling him to get the F out of the way, you know what I'm saying, all of that stuff. And then Roman Reigns, bro, gets destroyed by The Rock. Similar to how, you know, Cody got beat up in the rain last year and was left bloodied outside, I think The Rock will beat the crap out of Roman, bro, and leave him bloodied outside potentially as well, you know what I'm saying, in the middle of the cold night, you know what I mean? And next SmackDown is in Philly too, bro, so it fits like the cold, like Philly night aesthetic too, you know what I'm saying, the SmackDown after the Chamber, so I think that would be pretty cool as well, right? So I think that would work for the next episode of SmackDown, right? An insane, epic, or memorable beatdown segment from The Rock to Roman Reigns. Then the following Raw, I think The Rock will show up to Raw and gloat about him attacking Roman Reigns and how he's the final boss and he beat the crap out of the fake tribal chief Roman Reigns, all that stuff. And then Paul Heyman will basically come out and try to defend Roman. But this is where The Rock, I think, will threaten Paul Heyman, and I think Cody Rhodes' music will hit, and Cody Cody Rhodes might come in there and threaten Paul Heyman as well. But Cody will cut a promo tonight. This isn't really about Cody, right? This is more about Rock and Roman's story. But just to mention, I think Cody will have promos leading up to Mania, right? Because I think CM Punk is going to win the Chamber, right? But whoever wins the Chamber, Cody will basically go out and cut a promo about them or to them, right? Them two in the ring. And that basically will be the situation. I think it's going to be Punk because I'll talk about that in a little bit later. You know what I'm saying? We just getting started, right? We just getting started, right? We're going to talk about that a little bit later. So basically, Paul Heyman has to retreat because The Rock and Cody are threatening him. And he has an emotional segment backstage as, you know, Jey Uso is there. Jey's the only one he can really run to at this point. But Jey is dealing with Gunther, so he can't really do much, you know what I'm saying, right now to help the wise man. Then the following SmackDown, which would be the 14th, no, I don't think anyone's going to show up on this show, right? Because we have to be realistic. They're both heavy part-timers, right? They ain't showing up every week. So they're not going to show up on this episode of SmackDown, so we can skip that. And then the Raw's going to start their European tours, you know what I'm saying, in mid to late March. So I think that during these tours, the first Raw episode in Europe, they're obviously going to have The Rock or Roman or Cody on there. So I think The Rock will start off the show, the European crowd, I forget where they're at. I'll probably put it on the screen. I'll put the text on the screen. But wherever they're at, they're going to go absolutely insane, man. The crowd's going to lose it. The Rock will come out first, and Cody Rhodes will probably come out after The Rock calls him out, and they're basically going to be talking all kinds of trash. Cody will be talking to Punk or Cena or whoever won the Chamber, and The Rock will straight up be bad-mouthing Roman Reigns. Then, what's it called? Whoever wins the Chamber between Punk and Cena, let's just go with Punk for the scenario. Punk will come out, and he'll have his moment on the mic where he talks trash back to Cody and Rock. And, you know, he may bring up, like, his old promos with The Rock, right, from the build to Royal Rumble back, like, over a decade ago, you know, 2013. And then, you know, he might talk to Cody as well about Cody being Stardust, whatever it may be. You know, Punk can cook on the mic, so we'll see what he does, right? And after he's doing this, you know, The Rock and Cody basically get tired of this guy talking trash, and they basically start to attack him, right? They beat the crap out of him. And as CM Punk is getting double teamed, Roman Reigns' music hits, and Roman Reigns is back after a week or two away. You know what I'm saying? After getting destroyed by The Rock last time, Roman comes in, Superman punches The Rock, you know, what's it called? Spears Cody maybe, or Superman punches Cody, and then The Rock and Cody Rhodes basically retreat and run away. Roman's the big dog standing tall, you know what I'm saying? And then basically Roman Reigns in an impassioned promo will basically call out The Rock and say he wants The Rock at WrestleMania, okay? And he cuts a great promo of just pure anger and pure rage like he did before, but this time he's claiming he wants a match. And then The Rock in a backstage segment later in the night will possibly say that he'll have Roman get his match, but only if he earns it, right? So he'll probably have a situation where The Rock has Roman fight Jacob Fatu, or maybe a returning Brunson Reed, or maybe even Cody Rhodes. You know what I'm saying? That would be a pretty cool Raw match to have, but I don't think that's too big of a match for WWE right now for them to have on a random episode of Raw. So I think the situation is that even without this, Roman doesn't really need a match to qualify just to fight The Rock, right? He's the tribal chief. It's Roman Reigns. You know, like he doesn't need this match, but it's just a potential idea, I guess. But ultimately, Roman will be calling out Rock for a match. And then backstage later in the night, we'll get Roman and Heyman and Punk basically reminding each other that they have each other's backs during this craziness, because Punk needs to beat Cody, and, you know, Punk and Roman teamed up, you know what I'm saying, for Survivor Series. Even though they didn't love it, they did it anyways because it was what was best for both of them, and they're going to have to basically do that again. So they shake hands and basically confirm, all right, we got each other's backs. We do this. On the following SmackDown, if they go with the plan of Roman needing to fight someone and win that match in order to face The Rock at Mania, then it'll be Roman versus Jacob Fatu. Punk is attacked backstage earlier in the night by Cody Rhodes, so Solo Sikoa comes out because he's probably going to be feuding with Jacob Fatu by the time of like a few weeks from now. And basically Solo will come out and he'll help cost Jacob Fatu the match, or maybe, you know, help Roman in some way, but Roman ends up winning, you know, semi-clean pretty much versus Jacob Fatu, because I'm sure Fatu will be using help from Cody, so it kind of benefits out. It balances out. And because Roman wins this match, he now has an official, you know, contract signing slated for Monday Night Raw, the second Raw in the Europe tour. I forget where they're at in the second week as well, but I'll put that up on the screen as well. But wherever they're at in Europe for the second straight Raw, that is where Roman Reigns and The Rock will do their contract signing. Again, the crowd is going to be absolutely rampant during this contract signing. Roman Reigns will likely cut a Brock Lesnar-esque contract signing promo that he did like some years back, bro. You know, this is my ring. This is my microphone. This is my Ula Fala, and I earned it, right? And The Rock is like, I don't give a F about what you've earned. The final boss doesn't give a F about that, and F this, F that, F this. You know what I'm saying? The Rock's talking trash and going at Roman, you know what I'm saying? They can talk about the past, the present, the future. Just an absolutely hellacious, amazing promo segment with this contract signing, bro. Kind of like when Roman was doing the trial of the bloodline on Sami Zayn. I would expect this segment to be about as good as that, if not much better. It's The Rock and Roman. You know what I'm saying? Like, this should be pretty epic, and I'm looking forward to it. it. However, they agreed to some terms during this contract signing, and I think this match becomes a Bloodline Rules match, or it becomes a Tribal Combat match, or a Last Man Standing match for the Ulafala, and I guess for power. Or, hear me out, The Rock's career gets put at stake, or Roman Reigns' career gets put at stake, or both of their careers are on the line, you know what I'm saying, to add more stakes to this match and to really make it feel like that big Roman Rock match that we've been wanting for many years, you know what I'm saying? So, he may even, The Rock, because he's the head of the board and the final boss, he may even make Jey Uso put his career on the line versus Gunther, right? So, who knows what's going to happen with that. The following SmackDown, I think we're at what now? We are at the 28th now of March, right? So we're basically at the end of March, about 3 weeks away from Mania. This SmackDown, I think, will be skipped. I don't think either one will show up on this show because, like I said, they are part-timers. They're not going to be here every week. Then the following Raw, I think, will just be filler video promos from each of them, maybe an interview with Jackie Redmond or Kathy Kelly. So that'll be mostly filler. They won't be there for that. And then SmackDown, right? So this is now SmackDown. This would be, what, the 4th or the 5th of April? I think that Paul Heyman will officially announce that Roman Reigns will be back the following week on SmackDown, okay? And on this night, I think Punk and Cody will have a promo, or they'll have a promo back on the Raw before this, right? And it'll turn into a brawl or something. But Punk and Cody will be having their segments and their time with Heyman throughout this process. The following Raw, which I think is like the 7th or something like that, will be skipped. Neither of them will show up on that episode, in my opinion. And then the second to last SmackDown, the penultimate SmackDown before Mania, Roman and Rock cut another hellacious and epic promo that ultimately will, I believe, turn into a brawl that involves Cody Rhodes and CM Punk as well. And it'll be a brawl that has Punk and Cody basically making Punk and Roman, making Cody and Rock retreat as they win this little, makeshift brawl after their double promo, right? I think it's going to be a promo segment with Roman and what's his name? Roman and Punk going against Cody and Rock on the mic, similar to how last year it was Roman and Rock going against Cody and Rollins on the mic, I think this could be absolutely fun. It would be very entertaining. It would be epic. Turns into a brawl where Roman and Punk end up winning. The following Raw, Roman and Rock skip again. And then the following SmackDown will be some filler, maybe a video segment with Heyman or some interview or some promo in the ring, something hyping it up. And then the last Raw before WrestleMania 41, I think will be a final showing where Rock and Cody stand tall over Roman and CM Punk after another brawl segment, but at this time they absolutely destroy Roman and Punk. Just destroy them. Similar to how Roman Reigns and The Rock destroyed Cody and Rollins on the last Raw before Mania last year, just beating them up with the Mama Rhodes belts and the chairs, putting them on tables, just brawling and beating the crap out of them. So Rock and Cody will stand tall at the end of this last Raw before WrestleMania. Similar scene to what we'll see when Rock and Roman were standing above Cody and Rollins before last year's Mania 40. So I think that will be the situation with that. And then the SmackDown will be some last minute segments. I don't think Roman will be here. Same with Rock. They weren't on the SmackDown before Mania last year, so I doubt they'll be there for this one. But you can still have some video segments and maybe some promo with Paul Heyman. And I think we'll see an interaction with Jey Uso and Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman and maybe even Solo Sikoa too, reuniting in a sense of the older bloodline, right? The OG bloodline, you know what I'm saying? And maybe they'll reunite with Jimmy too before he potentially has a U.S. title match at Mania. And it'll be kind of like a family in-house moment, This is a massive weekend for this bloodline. Let's bring some stuff back to the bloodline, Let's bring some prestige, some honor, and some glory back to the bloodline, you know what I'm saying? And they all raise the ones up, and then that's that, for that segment. And then we culminate it with the night one main event, Cody Rhodes versus CM Punk for the WWE Championship, in which CM Punk wins the WWE Championship. And Mania Night 2, Roman Reigns versus The Rock, with career versus career on the line, Ulafala's on the line, Power's on the line, Honor's on the line. And if The Rock loses as well, maybe you can add in, if he loses his position as the TKO boss in storyline, right? And then after this, I think Roman Reigns in this match, bro, in this last man standing / tribal combat, / bloodline rules, whatever match this is, I think it'll likely have a bunch of cameos, probably Jay as world champ, you know what I'm saying? I think he wins the world title at Mania. Jimmy might get involved, Solo maybe, Fatu, Tama Tonga, etc. Even Sami Zayn maybe, Cody, Punk as well from night one, they'll come over, whatever may happen. There'll be multiple cameos and appearances, but ultimately in this last man standing match / tribal combat / bloodline rules / whatever it may be, I think in this match, bro, whether there's careers on the line, Ulafala, careers at stake, boss membership, whatever, I think Roman Reigns will win this match in the epic showdown between Rock and Roman. We'll see people, one of them going through tables, kendo sticks, chairs, Mama Rhodes belts, good spots where they're using each other's finishers, right, with the spear and the rock bottom and, top rope suplexes, right? The Rock going through some tables, Roman going through some tables. You know what I'm saying? I think it will be that kind of match, and I think it will be epic. And the storyline in the build, and, hopefully if this match goes well, no one gets hurt, it should be an absolute and utter banger, you know what I'm saying? And that is how I would book Rock versus Roman for Mania 41 based off of what we saw in yesterday's absolutely horrendous segment that may turn out to be something special. And another possibility, scenario through all of this is that kind of how you have Roman, Punk, and Heyman forming a partnership throughout this entire storyline build-up in this fantasy booking I came up with. I think you could also have John Cena play that role of Punk if he wins the Chamber, right? So instead of Punk being in all those situations, just sub in John Cena. You could get Cena and Roman working together, having an absolutely elite dap up, you know what I'm saying, in some segment or something, basically teasing the fact and showing us the fact that they're in unison for this Mania season, right? Or Roman will have a massive dap up segment with CM Punk as well, It will be absolutely great if they book it in this way, in my personal opinion. But with that being said, obviously, yesterday's segment was an absolute disaster, a disappointment, and it kind of pissed me off egregiously, right? That's why I was so angry in the video yesterday, because it was absolutely ridiculous, and I do not believe that they are going to go in the exact direction that I just said. However, if they do, this Mania 41 main event with Rock and Roman, and then, night one with Cody and Punk could end up being something extremely special, and I think it would be absolutely enjoyable if they played it out the way that I booked it. So that's just my opinions on it, and as usual, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think about the final Diddy, the final Diddler versus Roman Reigns at Mania Night 2 potentially, or what do you think about Cody versus Punk, etc.? But with that being said, that's going to wrap it up for this video, man. I thank you all so much for watching. Your support recently has been absolutely amazing. Your support just in general throughout my entire time on YouTube has been sensational. I thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you have a phenomenal day. And as always, peace out and one love.